Hey everybody, I am Cappi Pidwell and I am a Master of NLP and Hypnotherapy. And today we are going to talk about in episode 2, is your mind thinking in lack or in abundance? If you haven't watched episode 1 that I did live last week, I suggest you go watch it because this will be a series of 5 YouTube lives on how to really manifest more and really dealing with your success money mindset or lack mindset. So again, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please feel free to share and like and comment if you want to ask questions or get insights and answers in an upcoming episode. So I talk to so many people about their mindset. And I can tell you, I was speaking at an event this morning, and all these salespeople are there, right? A bunch of professional people. And I stand up and I start talking about increasing their income and increasing their results. And you can kind of see the confusion on their face when I'm talking about their internal relationship to success and money. So we all have this inner image and we have these thoughts that come up around money. So let's just say you are somebody who worries about money, right? Because today's topic, episode 2, is do you think in abundance or do you think in mostly lack? And here's what I find the average individual does. They set their goals, maybe. They have their intentions, they have their dreams, their desires, and I think their capacity and desire is pretty high usually, right? And then they set an intention or write something down to go get it as if it's outside of themselves. Yet they're walking around, and maybe you can relate to this, and maybe you walk into a store or go to purchase something, and that internal thought is, oh, that's too expensive. I don't have enough money. I wish I could purchase this, what have you. And if you pay attention to, is your mindset set to fear, scarcity, poverty? You were probably programmed with that. Okay. So I can tell you, I certainly was growing up. As I mentioned in the last video, it's important to understand we have the power to choose and to live in the past programs we have or to upgrade our mindset. Right. So I'm sitting here at my home in California, and I didn't grow up with a lavish money mindset. Let me tell you, that's why I teach this, right? So when you start to understand the internal words you think, so again, if you have a pen and paper, I always recommend you take some notes or just come back and watch this again. But the average thinker thinks about 500 words a minute internally. So again, if you're shopping or it's Christmas coming up, I'm shooting this in December of 2025, and you're worried, or again, that is very real for people. But I want you to understand this. What you think, it's like you're the mirror, not the universe, not the world outside of you. If you're walking around with limiting beliefs, worry, fear, and hoping to get more business, hoping to get a deal, kind of chasing or coming out of desperation, that is precisely what the universe is going to reflect to you. And I know this is really hard for people to understand. They think it's wooey wooey, or they think it's some mystical thing. And the reality is you are like a projector, right? So when I talk with people, and even I tell them my fees, and I have everything from free on my website to a book on Amazon for $20 to $47 products, all the way up to many thousands to work with me, right? So but I find I made those lower end products because so many people don't realize their lack thinking. They don't think they're doing it, but that's what they're doing. So an abundant, wealthy person doesn't wake up and worry about where their next deal's coming from. They don't focus on scarcity. And I'm not saying you have to go out and spend money you don't have or overextend yourself. That's not the point here. I want you to understand that it starts right here, right? So the practice would be paying attention for the next even 2 days. Just try to notice when you pick something up. What's the first thought, like at the grocery store, wherever you shop? Maybe if you go to the gas station, and you're going to get gas, what's the thought? Like, oh, yay, I'm so grateful I get to get my vehicle and go drive to the people I love, or go to Christmas or an appointment or whatever. Or are you focused on the money amount of how much the gas cost, right? We don't realize the benefits and the privileges we have when you pay a bill. I love my cell phone. We all live on our cell phones today. Imagine if you didn't have it, right? So look at the bill in an abundant thing of what it provides you with versus a lack or a concern or a worry or a fear. And it's really important to understand what you think you create. And again, this. People hear this and they go, yeah, Cappy, I know that, but how do I change it? So again, notice if you're thinking in lack first. You might even want to write some of those thoughts down because those are those old programs and those limiting beliefs, right? And then the practice is, again, don't go out and like spend a bunch of money you don't have or go, oh, I'm going to pretend I'm rich. Don't do that. The work is done in here first. So a good example would be when you wake up. I have a free PDF on my website. Go download it, and it's 5 practices and principles you can focus on every day. Print it out, put it next to your bed, and start to rewire your mindset. It is so important, you guys, because people are on autopilot. So if you walk into a room, like when I walked into that room today, we feel people first, right? We look at someone based on how they're dressed or whatever. But the minute they open their mouth, you can tell if they're coming from like abundance and gratitude and contribution, or are they coming from lack and insecurity or uncertainty? And it's okay. It's just human behavior, right? But when you really start to understand, it starts here first. The practice, the reason I make subconscious sessions, because that rewiring does take a little practice. So I think it's important if you have an abundance mindset and you're like, oh, there's plenty and I live in abundance and I love, everything around me. A good practice. The second thing you could do is go outside. Like I'm sitting at my house right now. You could just go outside and look at the flowers, look at the mountains, look at the water, look at the abundant things around you, and just bathe and practice that. A really powerful process that I used to do years ago is when I would take a walk, I would look at a tree. Like, look in your neighborhood, there's thousands of them, right? Like, look behind me, there's tons. And imagine if you could try to count the leaves on one tree. I mean, you can't, right? So, the universe, people say, oh, the universe, like we're all part of it, right? Um, we're all coming from something. So the practice is, how do I practice abundance? How do I look at the leaves on a tree and the leaves don't worry? The leaves don't look at the tree next to it and say, that tree's bigger, the flowers are better. They're not comparing. They just trust the infinite energy that's growing the trees, that it started with a seed. And by the way, so did you. We're all created from the creator. And the more you understand that's within us, it's not outside of you. Money is a thing, like stuff around me are things. It's a house and there's boats and there's things, right, that represent abundance. But it starts in here, and then the reflection of having more abundance is powerful. So I'll give you another example. So today at this same meeting, a friend of mine was there. She's a client. And she got up and we were talking about this event I'm doing. And she said, before I started working with Cappi, I had blank. And now I have, all these listings. She's a real estate agent. I have 3 in escrow. I have 4 listings right now. And she's like, it's been incredible. And, she's been in the business a long time. And everybody was like, wow. And it's funny to me that people don't realize how powerful they are. And then they say things like, there's no business right now. The market's hard. And so I'm going to suggest to you test this for a week. Okay. Practice abundance for a week and see what shows up. See what you begin to align with. Remember, you are the energetic creator, the thinker. So if you've had lackful thoughts, I understand. I used to have a lot of lack thoughts. I totally get it. I grew up in constant lack. So the work I had to do on myself, for myself, with myself is absolutely work, right? So I didn't just read one book and I see all this other information out there on, do affirmations and again, set your goals. It's good to have an intention on something. But really digging deeper into those core beliefs, those thoughts that come up for you when you look at stuff, when you can start to identify what's inside of you, what's happening for you personally, and then being able to say, okay, I say this a lot, right? I think about, oh, I don't have enough money for that, or I worry about money, or the bills are coming, or again, whatever those thoughts are for you, identify what you're doing. Then the practice is to practice abundance. And I'll tell you just a personal story. Before I lived here, I used to just visualize water. I just used to visualize a view, and I didn't have that when I was doing that. And it literally aligned. It took some time. I'm not saying that, it happened overnight, but that's the work, right? I do the work that I teach people to do. I make people products so that they can skip all the stuff I had to do to make it all and think about it and create it all, right? So in my program, Rewire Your Money Mindset, it's only $47, you guys. And it comes with a workbook, and, check it out. If not, get the free thing. It's fine. But if you do the work, it does ask you the questions. What are those common feelings? What are those common money emotions? What are those thoughts you're thinking? And then the subconscious session has you close your eyes for 15, 20 minutes to rewire those beliefs and those patterns to help you focus on lack. Because if that's not the natural state for you, then it's easy to just be on autopilot. Another recommendation and suggestion I have for you is set the state or the emotion you want to be in when you get up in the morning. So let's say, like today, I went to this meeting in the morning, and it is Thursday, December 18th. So I went to a meeting this morning, and I got up and I was getting ready, and I was like, what state do I want to be in? It's kind of like if you were to go to I don't know, hotel. It's like, what room? Do I want the penthouse? Do I want the bottom floor? People are over me loud, right? I always ask for the top floor. So where do you want to be? What do you want to vibe in, right? So I picked a state of mind, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to walk in and this is what I want to feel today, right? I want to feel fabulous and confident and just fun, right? Like it's the holidays, and be joyful and joyous and grateful. And when you pick your state of mind before you go places, play with it versus, oh, I'm going to go to this meeting and I got to do my thing and I got to talk to, these people or do whatever. You are the creator. You are literally the creator of all your outcomes. So I just want you to really identify, are you living in lack and you want abundance? And I promise you, you cannot create more abundance in a lack consciousness. They don't merge, they don't mash. So you might get by, you might get a deal if you're in sales, which is a lot of what I do. I help real estate agents and a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs create more money and income. If you want to create more wealth and abundance in your life, yet internally inside where nobody can hear you, and those 500 words a minute and all those 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day are a lot of lack, you're not going to match up with those opportunities, those miracles, those perfect places. They aren't going to be a match for lack. But if you don't know you're doing that, and you're not even conscious or aware of what's happening inside, you will keep repeating the patterns. And again, you could apply this to a lot of things, a relationship, right? Oh, this person, I can't meet anybody, whatever people tell themselves. It's all the same stuff. What you feel, you make real. What you come from, the energy you come from, is what you will align with. So if you're coming from lack or scarcity or poverty or worry or money stress and all the stuff that especially the media and the world is focused on, I'm telling you guys, managing this up here is the best investment you will ever make. Changing your identity, changing your personal alignment with your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, especially about your success, whatever you do for work. I texted my daughters today and I said, I want you to both remember, you're both so they're amazing women, but you're incredible, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're all these wonderful things, and you're not your job, right? So they work for companies, but like, you're not your job. Just remember that. You're like amazing as a human being. You can go anywhere and take that value with you. So I encourage you to not associate yourself, look at your bank account and associate yourself with that. You are amazing. You are a miracle. You are brilliant. You can change your mindset. You can rewire your consciousness and create whatever outcome you want. But don't start out there, start in here, okay? Once you upgrade your money mindset, and again, I have lots of products and programs. I have a program called Mental Money Mastery on my website. It's a lot more intense. It's 3 subconscious sessions, it's 3 weeks of videos, a workbook having you peel through your current relationship to money, your past programming to money, and then your future. How do you want to feel and be with money? It is in a more extensive program. It's only $695. Again, I try to make something for everyone. So if you're like, oh, Cappi, I've done work, but I don't have my outcomes, go check out Mental Money Mastery. It is a game changer. Thousands of people have gone through that thing, and it's incredible. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And here's a secret: do the work. Again, free PDF. Do it every single day for a week. Go sit outside, appreciate all that you already have. If you can walk, if you can talk, if you can see, if you can hear, if you can drive, all those great things we have access to, appreciate what you already have, and then manifest from that in that deep sense of gratitude. That gratitude attitude will help you produce different outcomes. And this is a practice, you guys. You don't just wake up one day and have a rich mindset unless you're someone famous who was birthed inside of it, right? Like if people are born into wealth, or their consciousness and families where that they don't run around and lack like the masses of society do, right? So choose your identity, choose your money imprint blueprint, and do the work. And I will see you next week, because we're going to dive in and we're going to start to focus forward on how to get your goals, how to target, stay focused, and really manifest from an abundant mindset. But I don't want to teach you those skills until you do the work. So I will see you next Thursday for our next third episode. All right. Talk to you soon.